Is there anything you learned about the professional boxing that before you didn't really understand or didn't know about?
I feel like it's more of a show than a sport.
Yeah.
Like that's what I really realized.
It is exactly. Yeah. Yes.
And not only that, seeing the cameras and weigh-ins and stuff like that, it was just like, and then just not only that, like people like they weren't acting like themselves, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Like they'll act like a totally different person on the camera, but then once it's off, like,
yeah, what the fuck? It's like they're putting on a character.
Yeah, put on a character.
Yeah. What it do, you tuned into the Jose Morales podcast. I'm your host, Jose Morales. We're back in the ring. This time I have a guest coming in. First, I want to say thank you for those that subscribed but left reviews. I still need more, so if you haven't and you love our podcast, like it, share it, and leave a review. I hope you enjoy the last episode. This episode, I have Sachery Sam, a professional boxer from Stockton, California. He's currently 3-0. And he came on the podcast. Also, Tony Armenta, I want to give a shout out because Tony Armenta was the one who plugged us in. He really wanted us to have him to be on the podcast. And that's how we got him on. And Sachery is what I like. I've seen him. He's very talented. He sparred here with us a few times. He's been in the gym. But one of my favorite things about this episode is how he talked about boxing and the current state boxing is in. And then he also talked about his faith and everything and how he feels about that. So those are two topics that I think are awesome. I'm glad that he brought them up. So here's the episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. Hi, Sam. It's Sachery Sam, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being on the podcast. I like asking people, before we get to talking, I like asking you guys personal stuff about, where you're from, tell me your story, your parents, and get familiar with your origin, where your roots are from.
Yeah.
So first, what nationality are you? Give me that.
I'm Black, Mexican, and Cambodian.
And Cambodian?
Yeah.
So who's Black, who's Mexican, who's Cambodian?
My mom, she's Cambodian. And my dad, he's Black and Mexican.
That's cool. Cool. Do they speak either of the languages? Like mom or dad still speak Spanish or Cambodian?
My mom, she speaks fluent Cambodian.
That's cool.
And my pops, he's like, he understands more than he can speak.
But he understands it?
Yeah, he understands.
That's cool. Cool. So where were you born?
I was born in Stockton, California.
And were you born and raised there your whole life?
Yeah.
What was that like?
There's ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
So it was. Yeah, there's always ups and downs to it.
Well, give me an up, give me a down. Give me something that's cool about being from Stockton, and give me something that's not good about being from Stockton.
Oh, it's just, like, there's not really anything to do out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's, like, every time, you go to movies or just anywhere want to enjoy yourself, there's always problems,
Yeah.
So you always got to, stay on your toes. That's, like, the downside of it. But other than that, like, there's also good people out there, you know? Mm-hmm.
Where give me a little bit about your upbringing, like, from your young age, 5, 6, to your teenage years. What was life like for you? Was mom and dad part of your picture your whole life? So your parents together, are they divorced? How many siblings do you have? How many brothers and sisters? Give me a little bit of background on that.
Oh yeah, it's just like I have 2 families. It's like the situation, like I don't really feel comfortable, telling that.
Yeah.
But
share what you want to talk about, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I had 2 families, so it was always like going back and forth, moving different places all the time. So it was always like a different look, like having like 2 lives, basically.
Yeah, because so I'm assuming your parents are split up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how many siblings do you have? Brothers, sisters?
I got like 4 brothers, and then I got like 3 sisters.
3 sisters?
Yeah.
You're older, younger? Where you at?
Oh no, my fault. Actually, because I got a little brother. That's why too.
Oh,
so
okay.
I got 1, 2, like 4 brothers and like 4 sisters.
4.
Yeah.
Are you in the middle, oldest? Where you at?
I'm like in the middle now.
In the middle?
Yeah.
So you got some older, some younger.
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you pretty close to them, or what's your relationship like with all your siblings?
Yeah, I'm close to, all of them, just whenever they need help or, I'm always there for them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And when you were growing up, did you play any sports? Were you active in school? Or what was that like?
Oh yeah, a first sport that I really liked was basketball. I was always in basketball since like elementary, since 8th grade, and then I played soccer one time. I didn't like it. Like,
Yeah.
I was always,
Like
used
for
to
fun or like on a team?
like on a team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, cause I didn't like how I couldn't use my arms, my hands. So it was pretty difficult.
Feet, yeah.
Yeah. Even like if I was goalie, like I'll sit there and just stay there for a while and I'll get bored fast.
Yeah.
So I only tried that one time, but like the rest, it was just basketball.
Yeah.
And then ever since I went to boxing, and then I just stopped everything completely.
Yeah. So what age did you start boxing? How old were you?
I started boxing, I think it was 8th grade, like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you get into boxing?
I got into boxing because at first my pops, like he showed me like the basics, like telling me like, oh, like I need to learn how to defend myself better.
Yeah.
So he took me to the garage and like showed me the basics. And then after that, I've been bugging him, to take me to the gym.
Yeah, because you wanted to do more.
Yeah, because I wanted to do more. I wanted to learn like more ways to fight. And then at first he didn't want me to, to box at all, because he knew like it wasn't an easy sport. Because he trained my cousin David Martinez back then, and he knew like how much it took, to be in the sport. So like he didn't like take me unless like he knew like I actually wanted it for myself. So I just kept on bugging him, and then finally he took me to the gym. And then like with Gabriel Flores, and after that I just fell in love with it.
So your first gym you trained at was, what gym was it?
It was Los Gallos.
Oh, okay, yeah.
From Gabriel Flores.
Yeah, so you were with Gabe.
Yeah.
And so Gabe was your first coach?
Yeah, he was my first coach.
That's cool. Senior, right? Gabe Senior. So you were training with Junior and all, and that was your crew.
Yeah.
And then how long did it take until you got your first fight?
It took me like a year, when I was 13. My first fight was a national tournament, the Adidas tournament.
Yeah.
And then I won that one.
Oh, you won the tournament on your first fight?
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. Mm-hmm. That's cool. So then you win the tournament. How'd you feel after winning it? You probably felt good, right? You were ready to do more?
To be honest, like I felt like there's still more to do, Mm-hmm. Like my job is not done.
Yeah, that's good.
Your mindset. Yeah, and it's like everybody was going up to me like, oh, like you won a belt, you won, a tournament, like, man, that's dope, and this and that, like talk highly about it. Mm-hmm. But then like it felt like that I needed to do more.
Yeah.
And that's like every tournament I won, like I didn't really pay attention of the belts or anything. It was just, I just look at it like a learning experience.
You're ready to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. What was, when was your dad getting, because your dad's involved heavy with coaching now with you, right?
Yeah.
When did that happen? Did it happen in the amateurs, or did it slowly come about, or when did he get involved more on the coaching side?
It was like he was always there, to be honest. Like he was like the co-coach.
Yeah. So he was always in the gym with you?
Yeah, he was always in the gym, like just teaching me stuff. And I had like both ears like teaching me. And like he'll tell me something new, like do this, and then I'll end up doing it. And then Gabe he'll get surprised, like, oh, where'd you learn that from? Like, so it was good because it made me, progress fast.
Yeah, faster. Does your dad have a boxing background also? Like he competed, or he was around boxing too?
Yeah, he was mainly just playing basketball, but he did box for a while. Mm. Yeah, and then he also learned from street fighting all the time.
Yeah, he's from Stockton.
Yeah.
He grew up and born and raised in Stockton too?
Yeah.
That's cool. How is it having your dad as your coach? Is it tough? Is it easy, or do you like it? Give me the pros and cons with having your dad as a coach.
Yeah, there's good and there's bad to it, because he's been there from the start, so he knows like what I can handle. So it's like I put my full trust in him. Just anybody he puts in front of me, like I just know I just gotta get the job done. Mm-hmm. But there's also a down to it. It's like they don't know how to, like when they go home, they don't know like
turn it off.
To turn it off.
They're still coaching you.
Yeah, they're still coaching me. So it's like sometimes they get stuck like in the coaching phase instead of like, just
Father.
switching it. Yeah.
Yeah, now you're my dad.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about boxing. Yeah, I figured that could happen. I coach my kids here, and something that helped me separate that is when at home I have them call me dad. In the gym, I don't let them call me dad. In the gym, I'm coach. Don't call me dad. I'm not in the gym. I'm not your dad. I'm your coach. And I've noticed that helped because it kind of gives me a different identity from home in the gym, and it helps my kid kind of separate the two. Yeah. And I did it with both, and they literally, it works. They talk, and then when I get home, I act like I wasn't at the gym. Hey, how was boxing? What you do at boxing? What you learned today? Yeah. Act like I'm their dad, not like I was a coach there. So I completely have a conversation with them organically about boxing as if I wasn't there. Because then I get a different feel from it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've noticed helped me. But yeah, I can definitely see the pros and cons, but I think a good pro too is having your dad with you. That's fucking badass. Your dad's in the corner with you, and all that. So that's tight. So keep going with your amateur career. You started, you win this tournament. What's next?
It's just like after this fight? Or?
Yeah, so how many fights total did you have amateur?
Oh, amateur, like 70 plus.
Yeah. So you win the it was called the Adidas tournament?
Yeah.
You win the Adidas, and then you went to how many more tournaments? What you do after? So from 13, give me your story with the amateur fights.
And then I was going, like, my second fight, I went to ringside, like the ringside tournament in Kansas City. Yeah. And then that was for my second fight. And I ended up getting robbed on that fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I say that because when I was fighting him, and I rocked him, and he made a noise. And the ref, he looked at him and looked at me and pulled me for a second 8 count. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, what? Like, everybody was confused. And then after that, I was mad, so I had to get my get back. So I got on him and then ended up like rocking him again. And then I got a second 8 count from him, And then after that, like, they still gave it to him.
Damn.
Yeah, even after the fight, like his family and just everybody was telling me I won that fight. But, of course, it was a loss. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's part of sucks, but it happens a lot in boxing, with things like that. You hear that story happen often.
Yeah.
How did you bounce back from that? Or what did you do?
I can say it's a blessing because I learned that fast, like from my second fight, because, in amateurs, you get situations like that all the time. So, it opened my eyes and just really just basically give me a mindset to just always progress. Like, even though if you lose or win, like, just always
there's
like
always
learn.
work to do.
Yeah, there's
always
work
more.
To do. Yeah.
And it's very true. You could do that from wins and losses. Mm-hmm. I think people that win, not all of them, but people, when you win a fight, it's harder to analyze what you could do better because you feel like you won. Yeah. But when you lose and you lost, it's like you really analyze. You're like, all right, what the fuck do I got to do?
Yeah, because I always been like that. Even if I win, like, or sparring, like, it's every time like, oh, like, I know I can do better. Or like the person I want to be untouchable. I want to be like a monster in there, And it's just, if I could feel that, like, within myself, like I'm the best, version of myself.
Yeah.
Then, my job is not done. There's always things to learn.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And throughout this whole time, you were with the same coach? You were with Gabe the whole time?
Yeah, and then until he moved to Vegas, and then after that, I was with my pops the whole time.
Okay, so until Gabe went to Vegas, you were with Gabe the whole time?
Yeah.
And then after that, it was your dad full time?
Yeah.
When did you make the decision that you needed to turn pro, and why? How did you know you were ready to turn pro?
It was like, I wanted to turn pro like since I was 16. I wanted to turn pro right when I turned 18 because I was sparring professionals and just big
you were
people.
Around it already.
I was already around it, and I was already like looking at everybody like, shine, and it was just like, man, like,
I'm ready to do this.
Yeah, I'm ready to do this. Like, I want my time to shine as well,
Yeah.
So, and not only that, I was just dropping, like, even professionals, like, while sparring. Mm-hmm. So I knew, like, I was at that point,
Yeah.
But then COVID happened, and it slowed everything down. Like right when I turned 18, like COVID happened, and then it was hard for me to get a fight. And not only that, like they had like regulations and stuff like that. So it was hard to get like a promoter and like a matchmaker as well. So and then years went by, I had a baby, and then that's when like I had a mindset where I need like income like coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working, and I started to like have like a different path, try to find a different path. But then while I was working at my job, there's like a lot of people like coming up to me, like reminding me like, oh, like asking me, oh, when you're gonna have your pro debut, or just, oh, you're Zachary, that boxer, like,
Yeah, they kept bringing it up.
Yeah, they kept on bringing it up. So I was like, man, like, it's just, I'm religious, I'm Christian, so it kind of felt like that.
It was a sign?
Yeah, it was a sign, like God was speaking, through people that telling me to get back on that path, So after that, I just went back to boxing. I just went full throttle with it.
Yeah, so during that time, there was a time when you weren't boxing.
Yeah.
How long was that? Was it months, years?
It was about like 2 years.
Oh, 2 years? No? So it was during the COVID time.
Yeah, the COVID.
So from like 18 to 20.
Yeah, because it was about, altogether, it was about like 4 years.
Oh, really?
Like not fighting, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and when I had my pro debut too, like it was a guy that had experience as well. And I thought like I was used to it. I thought because the environment I was already used to, like I grew up boxing since I was 12. So I already knew what I could do, and knew like, the weigh-ins and, the environment. So I thought nothing of it. I just had a mindset, basically like just get the job done.
Yeah.
And everybody was always asking me, are you nervous? Are you nervous? But then I was telling them no, they're surprised. But once I got in the ring, man, like my adrenaline, that's right when it hit me, like when that bell rang, like my adrenaline just shot up. And then like I started off fast, Yeah. And then it ended up getting me tired like the later rounds. So like I couldn't really take him out.
Yeah.
But I was rocking him and I was buckling him, but every time like I would hurt him, like I had to catch my breath, So I would end up like letting him go. Yeah, but after that, there is telling me like, oh, if you would have threw a few more punches,
could have stopped him.
Yeah, you could have stopped him. Yeah. But after that, it was just basically like getting those jitters out.
Yeah, was that your first fight in 4 years, the pro fight?
Yeah, first fight in 4 years.
So during the whole break, you didn't have an amateur fight. You went straight to the pro.
I went straight to pro, yeah.
Yeah, so I could see that being, why you got the adrenaline and all that, because it had been a while.
Yeah, but after that, like even my second fight, I was comfortable in there. Like after that, I've been having like stoppages. Like
yeah, you've been feeling better.
Yeah.
What is something about the pros that you learned so far that you did not know prior? Is there anything you learned about the professional boxing that before you didn't really understand or didn't know about?
I feel like it's more of a show than a sport.
Yeah.
Like that's what I really realized it.
It is exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not only that, seeing the cameras and weigh-ins and stuff like that, it was just like, and then just not only that, like people like they weren't acting like themselves,
Yeah.
Like they'll act like a totally different person on the camera, but then once it's off, like.
Yeah, what the fuck? It's like they're putting on a character.
Yeah, putting on a character.
Yeah.
So
you're the first person to bring that up. It's actually a good point. Yeah. So do you like that or dislike that? How do you feel about that? It's more of a show than an actual sport.
To be honest, like, like personally, I don't like that because like, it's like something shouldn't bring you like out of your character,
Yeah.
Even if it's like, trying to gain like, like just views and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just be yourself, and if the people come, then people come.
Yeah.
If people don't like you, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I just feel like just putting up a front and being somebody else, like you shouldn't have to do that.
For sure. No, yeah. How do you, now that we're talking about this, what is something, I'm assuming is that, but what is something about boxing you would change? If you could change anything about boxing, what would you change?
I'll change, of course, like any other job, like how they have like, what is that? Like medical bills, like they pay for
Oh,
your medical bills and
So like,
insurance and stuff like
like
that.
take care of the boxer more.
Yeah, like take care of boxers, like actually like treat it like, cause it is a job
Yeah.
and have like those opportunities where it is a job where you gain insurance from
Mhm.
health insurance and stuff like that.
Yeah, because there's none of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not only that, like just bringing the light to the boxers that's actually like,
Boxers.
I mean, like that,
Dedicated to the
dedicated
sport.
and putting in, the work,
Yeah.
and not just like,
Popular.
yeah, not just people that's just popular,
Yeah, popularity. Because now it's really a popularity show.
Yeah.
If you're popular, you get opportunities, and then you have guys that dedicated their whole life to it, very
Yeah.
skilled, but they don't get the same opportunities because they're not as popular.
Yeah. And it's just I feel like there's just levels to it,
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like that like it shouldn't, you being in front of the line, it shouldn't like you being popular, like being in front of that line,
Yeah.
It should be like skill wise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I 100% agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, and if you get familiar with the history of boxing, you understand why it's like that. But I feel like boxing where it is now compared to 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, even a few years, it completely changed. You had people that started boxing as kids, they go to the Olympics, amateurs, and now you have a kid that dedicated their whole life to a sport, but now you telling them you're not popular.
Yeah.
What you mean I'm not popular? So what? I'm skilled. I've been doing this my whole life.
And they sacrificed their whole life for the sport, and for somebody like to not just give them that respect. Yeah. It's like just because they're not like popular or anything like
how many followers they have or how many tickets they sell. Yeah, it's sad. How do you feel about Dana White and Turkey Al-Sheikh doing they're doing like a league or something? Do you think that's something that can fix something like this or no?
Oh, I feel like cause like everybody that's at Dana White, like he signed, like started off that 360 the professional, like, and everybody on there, like they got skills, and those are the people that actually like put in the work,
Yeah.
So I think he's making something different.
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, because it's something that was just announced recently, probably within the last month or so. So yeah, and I could see something like that having to play a part in changing exactly what you're talking about. Now let's talk about you. You mentioned you being a dad. Being a dad, being young, and still having dreams of doing this and that. How have you juggled being a professional boxer, being a dad, and working? Because people don't know you actually have a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
So you have a full-time job, you're a parent, and you box. How are you juggling those things?
It's just like I'm always on the go. Like ever since I wake up, like I'm always doing something. So I mean, it's just basically just like I already know, like I gotta wake up, take care of my baby, and not only that, there's a time where I have to go to the gym. So it's like I have to go at to the gym at that specific time, and then after that, I have to go to work. So it's just basically like just chopping everything,
Yeah.
Making
Structured. You're organized. You're like, all right, from this time to this time, I'm with my baby. From this time to this time, I'm in the gym.
Yeah, because if it's not structured, then it's like it gets stressful.
Yeah,
and then you end
it's
up
all over the place.
Yeah, and then you end up being late to one thing and another,
Yeah, it throws
and
off your whole day.
throws off everything. Yeah. And I mean, being a father, I love it. Like not only that, it just I can see my father like point of view. Like ever since I was young, like I didn't understand him. Like they'll tell me things like, oh, like give me advice and just tell me, oh, like that's not the right path.
Yeah.
Or like they can see it, and it's like I just blocked that out. Like I'm a type of person where I gotta be in that situation to learn myself,
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like
you're now seeing all the things like your dad would tell you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I get it. Or, you're trying to see it from a different point of view.
Yeah, so like I just see it in his point of view, and it's making me understand my father more, and it's making me like respect him more as well,
Yeah, for sure. Because you're trying to see all the struggles he did and he had to go through. You're starting to live it now. You're like, oh, this is what dad was talking about.
Yeah.
That's cool. You mentioned earlier when we were talking about your job and having a job that's more relaxing as far as stress-free mentally because you already have boxing that hit like it's a lot mentally already.
Yeah.
How did you how do you come to a conclusion that that's what you need? Like, how did you know I need a job that's not going to be mentally beating me? How did you know that that's what you were looking for?
Cause I was working at a warehouse job.
Oh, so you had a labor job
I had
before.
a labor job. Yeah, so I was constantly working, even like working like mandatory like 14 hours, like
Yeah.
like night shifts. So it
you
was
felt
just
it.
straining. Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt it, and it was just I was just drained. Like I couldn't be 100% in the
Like
gym.
training.
You know, yeah. And you know, this sport, like you have to be 100%, or else you could get hurt. You really badly get hurt. So, you know, after that, I just had to make adjustments where like just basically see what's better out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
That's good. Yeah, I was like, I wonder how he felt that, but now it makes sense. You had a job that was taking a lot out of you, and you're like, damn. How did you go from being a dad, and how do you go from being a dad and being loving to going into the ring and having to hurt somebody? Like, how do you switch those emotions from being like a loving, caring person to a human, and then going to the ring and having the complete opposite of, now I need to fuck you up. How do you make that switch, or what do you do? Do you do anything mentally, or how do you switch that?
It's like I learned that at an early age. I feel like boxing really taught me that. Like, cause I knew how to switch that in my head. Like, all right, like it's time, like you know, to get down. And like when I'm out the ring, like I'll like from sparring, like okay, now it's time to relax and you know, to basically learn, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of people see boxers, like people that are in boxing understand this.
Yeah.
But people that have nothing to do with boxing, that's just on the outside looking in, they're like, oh, they're just hitting each other in the head, or they're just fighting, and they see boxers as people that have anger, that are angry. You know, that's how they see us. And then they're like, oh, so then to them, it probably could be like, oh, how is this guy a loving father, but then he wants to fuck people up? You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly, I love that. You answered it perfectly because that's 100% true. You as boxers, we learn this stuff young because you have to have discipline as far as you can't go around fighting everybody. You know, you got to be able to turn it off and on.
It's like, I don't blame him because when I was in boxing, like, that's when I was getting stressed out and I didn't have an outlet to take it out on, you know? So I was just like, man, like it was going to be that time to explode, you know? But then like when I got back into boxing, I felt more relaxed, more chilled, you know? Like,
and it helped you a lot mentally, even not even on the competition, it's just your health. It helped you, it was a healthy outlet to, you know, stress relief.
Yeah, that's why I say like it's just therapeutic.
Yeah, therapeutic, yeah, for sure. Because even if you weren't competing, you'd probably still be doing something with boxing probably.
Yeah.
Just to stay sane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier you're religious, that you have a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about? Were you raised in church, or how did that happen?
Like when I was a kid, I was Buddhism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was because my family, like I was always around my Asian side, so I was just going with the flow, just going to the temple with them, but I didn't really understand it.
Yeah,
you know?
you were just going with your fam.
Yeah. So it's just one day my pops, he asked me why I was Buddhism. Like, do you know why? I told him no. So he took me to the church, and just what really stood out to me was forgiveness. And that's a really big part in being a Christian, is having forgiveness. And not only that, it played a big role in my life, you know. So ever since then, I stuck, you know, being a Christian.
How old were you at that time?
I was about like 8 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 years
Man,
old.
that's crazy. So at 8 years old, you made that decision. And then from the 8-year-old Zachary to now, your faith slowly grew and grew? Or did you have any time where you kind of got away from it?
Yeah, I kind of got away with it when I went to like high school, like, and the stuff that I was doing and, you know, my environment was just, you know, it wasn't good, you know? And it's just my life was just, it was becoming like stressful and all of that, getting into problems where like I shouldn't be in, you know?
Yeah.
So, but when I got older, I was still going to church. I was still going like, you know, like every so often, but it wasn't like,
Yeah,
constantly,
it
or,
wasn't consistent.
it was just going just because my family was going,
Yeah.
it wasn't because like I wanted to go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it just, when I got close to it is when I had my baby. And, like it was a point in my life where like I was just stressed. Like I didn't know how to handle like everything that I was going through because it was just happening so fast. So, and it just felt like that, like I didn't, cause I was stuck. Cause I'm basically like a homebody. Like I don't really talk to anybody, or
Yeah.
like I'm just at home all the time. I don't go out like that or anything. So I was just always to myself, and it just felt like that I couldn't talk to anybody about my problems,
Yeah.
But then, when I went to like church, it felt like that I could, talk to God,
Yeah.
and I could feel it like that He's hearing, because there's like situations where like I go to church and I pray and then tell Him my problems, and then days later or just randomly, you know, those problems that I said in church, like it will be solved, or
Yeah.
somebody will say something about it.
Mm.
So it just felt like that He was listening to me.
That's cool.
And yeah, it just, when I was at my lowest, like I spoke to God and I just gained closer to Him. And like years later or days later, I ended up getting baptized, and that's when I just wanted to be, like, just basically sealed it.
Yeah.
And ever since I got baptized, I mean, stuff, they said like watch out, because when you get baptized, like stuff, like the devil will attack you more,
Yeah.
because he knows that you're trying to be, on the right path. So I mean, I do like see the stuff like coming at me, but then at the same time, it don't feel the same. Like I'm not stressed about it. Like I
Yeah.
don't really pay
As
attention like
before.
stressful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just, I basically just give him my problems, and he'll just handle it,
Yeah.
basically. And not only that, like my faith is way more stronger. Like anything that comes my way, I know like the right thing to do.
Mhm. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I love that you said about that is how you said I was Buddhist and I was doing it just because of my family. I just went with the flow.
Yeah.
And that's something I always tell people. I was like, if you were raised in the Middle East, will you be Christian? Probably not. You know what I mean? You'd probably be Muslim or something like that. And then there's a fact that you have to find yourself and find, what it is that you truly believe in, not just going with the flow and just being something because the environment you're in. So
Yeah.
I love that you did that. You dug deep, you found something and you connected with something. You didn't just go with the flow.
Yeah.
I can relate with that big. I wasn't raised in church either, and I've been in situations like that where you feel it versus just doing it because
Yeah.
you're somewhere. All right, man, let's talk boxing again. We kind of got off subject a little bit, but hey, thank you for sharing that though. That's huge. Another one boxer that I admire a lot, but he's big on his faith is Andre Ward. You see him, he constantly talks about, and I think he's a youth pastor now.
Yeah. I seen that.
So that's cool. What's some advice you would give to an amateur boxer? Now that you had a career in the amateurs, you won tournaments, you did that. What's an advice you would give an amateur boxer?
I'll tell them, go like get as much experience that you can. Like go to the tournaments, because that's where I mostly like learn, my skills, and my fighting was at the tournaments. Because you'll learn if you put yourself in those situations, like where like basically there's just levels to it.
Yeah.
And if you like being around, people that advance, you'll learn and pick off, from them.
Yep.
So it'll boost you up even faster.
Very true. Very
And
true.
and not only that, like don't take a loss as a loss.
Yeah,
Like
no.
just always want to improve, your skills.
Yep. Very true. That's good. That's great tips. What's your fighting style? So the people that are not familiar with you and never watched you fight, what would you say your fighting style is?
It's like my fighting style, cause I was I was sparring like people that's like bigger than me like all the time. So I basically like I box, but not only that, I give angles. Like I'll box you and give you angles, make you miss, and then close the gap like fast. Like
Yeah.
you know, just basically like when that like window's open and just close it like.
And you attack.
Yeah, I attack, as fast
Yeah.
as possible. But yeah, my boxing style is being active and just making you miss with angles and then closing the gap.
Yeah. What's something that differentiates you from everybody else?
It's like if it's time to bang, like if it's time to go in there and like just catch punches and just working the inside, like I can do that too. But it's like what I mainly focus on is just adapting as fast as possible. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who's a fighter or what situation you're in. Just adapt as fast as possible.
Yeah. That's good. If there's someone here like listening to the podcast and they're like curious about boxing or they want to box and they don't know where to start, what recommendations would you give them as far as what gym to go to or what to look for in a coach? What would you tell them?
I feel like if you want to box, like if you're really serious about it, or if you're just planning on like to do it for a workout, I feel like just get in contact with like a boxer to gain advice. Don't get advice just for somebody random. Just get advice for somebody that actually knows the insides and outs.
Yeah, somebody's actually doing it.
Yeah, and they'll just give you the options like where to go. Just tell them what you want, and like you can hit me up and I'll be gladly to give
Guide
you
you.
the path for that.
Yeah, tell you where to go.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Now I'm gonna start asking you fun, random questions that have nothing to do with boxing. I mean, some are boxing related. Give me your favorite place to eat. What's your spot? So if you go out to eat, where do you like to go?
I mean, my favorite spot is Midnight at Bernie's. Like I go there every single fight. After a fight, that's the first thing. Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
I always post them too, like right after.
What do you get there? What's your go-to?
I'll be getting the breakfast sandwich, like with the egg inside.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
And the breakfast fries with like a milkshake,
Yeah, that's cool. What's your favorite type of music? Like, what do you listen to the most?
I like oldies.
Oldies?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I listen to everything, but I'm really big on oldies.
Yeah. How come? Is there like, did you listen to it growing up, or how did you get connected with oldies?
Yeah, I listened to it like when I was growing up, and not only that, like it's different than nowadays music.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays music it's like all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. It says the same shit.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Who's your favorite boxer?
My favorite boxer is in the past, like old school wise.
Give me both. Give me old school and right now.
Okay, it's Roy Jones.
Yeah, Roy Jones is tight. That was one of my favorites too. Roy Jones is badass.
Yeah, and right now is Crawford.
Crawford,
yeah. Ever since he fought Gamboa, I knew like he was something special. I was like, watch out for him.
You got the same. Me too. I love Crawford. Yeah, Crawford's smart, man.
Yeah,
he's hella smart. And he's good, and he's a dog. That's what I like about him. He goes out there and he wants to fuck you up.
Yeah.
And you could tell he's competitive. He's smart, I like the fight when he fought Pistol. When he fought Victor Pistol, I think that's a fight where I was like, damn, this dude is special. He beat him with purely brains.
Yeah.
Pistol was known for his right hand, and he took the right hand away from him. He was moving away from the right hand the whole fight. And Pistol couldn't hit him with that. To me, seeing somebody do that with smarts versus trying to beat you with toughness was dope. That's what made me like him a lot.
Yeah, because you can be like the strongest person in the gym, but if you don't know how to use it, like it's pointless. It's pointless. Yeah,
it's pointless. Yeah, what are you gonna do with it? What are your favorite fights? Any fights that you like? They're like, oh, this guy when he fought this guy was good, or any fight like that you like?
Not really. Like I don't have like a really specific fight that I can like remember right now.
How about trilogies? Any trilogy that was dope?
Trilogies. Man, I would really get in. Like I would have to like really think about that because like I don't really like watch boxing like that, but I do watch like the highlights and stuff like that. But I can't remember like the names that
no,
they
makes
fought.
sense.
You know.
How can people stay in touch with you? How can they, how can they connect with you?
Oh, just hit me up on Instagram. Yeah.
What's your Instagram?
It's Sachery 209. It's Sachery 209.
All right. And when's your next fight?
My next fight is April 17th.
April 17th. Where's it at?
17th, Redwood City.
Redwood City. And that's with West Side Promotions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How has it been? How has it been dealing with West Side Promotions doing you? Because they've been your promoter for all your fights, right?
Yeah.
How's it been so far?
It's been good. You know, like this year we're supposed to be active. We're gonna be more active, more fights. But you know, it's been really good. They've been taking care of me.
That's good. Yeah. What do you look for you? What's the definition of taking care of you? So as an athlete, what is something as an athlete you'd be like, man, I like that they do this. What is it?
Like they'll hit me up like just saying like if I want to do any activities like outside of boxing, like just basically like helping the homeless or just interviews or
they do that?
Yeah,
that's dope.
They'll set things up like that, and only that like they'll ask you basically like just ask you questions, and so you just answer it so they could put it on their platform like to get you out of it.
They're really trying to promote you and get you out there. Yeah, not a lot of people do that. Yeah, as far as promoters, where they doing things like you said, giving out with the homeless and things like that. That's pretty tight. I didn't know they did that. Yeah. So that's cool. Is there anything you want to add? Anything you want to talk about or say on the camera, or anything you want to tell the people that are listening? Anything you want to say? This is the time.
No, not really, to be honest.
Yeah. You got nothing you want to say?
I don't
nothing? He said, I ain't got nothing to say. He said, I don't talk to people, man. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say something. Thank you for coming on. I've admired your boxing. You know, you've been here. You sparred here a few times. I've seen you when we went to Stockton a few times. I've seen you fight. I love the bond you have with your dad. Mm-hmm. I think you would definitely have the skill to be successful, and you can count on us and everyone here to be in your corner and root for you. I know you have a lot of support here in SAC in general. There's a lot of people that that like you, and then for sure in Stockton. So I wanted to say that on camera, and that's pretty much it that I got. Yeah. So thank you for coming on.
So wait, hold on. I want to give a shout out.
Yeah.
First thing first, I want to thank God. And I want to give a shout out to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for for this interview.
Yeah.
And I also want to give a shout out to my coaches, my dad, and Chino, and and my family. Thank you for always supporting me through the ups and through the downs.
Cool. Hell yeah. All right, man. Thank you for coming on, Zachary. That's it. Boom. Yeah. We out. Boom. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was it. That was the episode with Sachery Sam, currently 3-0. Make sure you guys follow him, stay in contact with his professional career. If you got something from this episode that you really liked, enjoyed, or someone that could benefit from this, share it, like it, and leave a review. I need more reviews, please. If you have not left us a review and you're a listener, leave a review. Let me know what you like about the podcast. And that's it. I'll be back in a couple weeks. We have a couple things popping off. I'm traveling here a lot in the next couple weeks. So I'm going to try to get a podcast in. But the good thing is I have a special one coming up. It's going to be pretty good. And that's it, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm out. Deuces.